Welcome back to Enhanced Investor. Today is Thursday, November 16th, 2017, and we're going to do something very different today, and that is a live trading, not so much during market hours right now, but from last Tuesday, November 14th. We are at just about 10 a.m. here, and I'm going to walk through exactly why I made the certain trades that I did, and basically how it all works. So of course, if you are new to options trading, I will try to break it down as much as possible. And if you're a veteran at options trading, I'm sure you will be able to learn something as well. So let's get started. First things first, let's throw the link in for Enhanced Investor. If you are not a member of Enhanced Investor, you should probably check that out. There's a link in the description below for that. Alright, let's get started. Make sure everything's working here. Minute and 20 in. Perfect. Alright. So this is Thinkorswim. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do. And we're going to be using this fantastic on-demand setting in the top right corner. If you haven't used this before, I highly recommend it. It's pretty fantastic. So let's get started. There's 4 charts I'm using right here, and all of these are SPY charts. On top left, you can see we have a 6-month on weekly. This is so I can see the big picture. Because if I don't know where the big picture is going, the probability of me getting something on the smaller scale is going to be a lot less. I need to know where SPY is going in the last few months, because if something really big, like let's say that support line right there, if that breaks, there can be a really huge potential for profit on some put options. You can see it a little bit more in detail on the daily here. You can see 1 month daily. Same thing, SPY 4 days on 78 minute. The biggest thing about the 78-minute chart, you're probably wondering why I'm not using a 60-minute chart, and that is, number one, the market hours are this weird 5.5 hours long. That means that if you're using a 60-minute chart, you really have 4 hours of single hour candles and then a random 30-minute candle. So rather than doing that, I break it into 78 minutes to turn it into 1/5 of a day. So each one of these candles is 1/5. And then if there's no volume, that's after hours, because I don't like that gray scale that Thinkorswim uses. Next, of course, is our 15-minute chart. I use that to find the support and resistance for the S&P 500. It's fantastic. So I'll be jumping to this chart, or this set of charts, relatively often. Let's go over to our flexible grid, because that's where we are going to be working the most. We have our quick 78-minute chart over here. This is for our support and resistance. 15-minute chart here looks a little bit different. And then we've got our 5-minute, and this is where we are going to do 90% of our viewing. Then, of course, in the bottom is our options chart. This is so we can see the exact option we're trading, how much it's worth up and down. You can see a very basic chart of it. And I want to be able to see time and sales. If I'm fighting against the trend, it's not going to end well for me. So let's get started. Press this fantastic play button. Make sure everything's working on our playback here. Things are moving exactly what I want. So we're going to focus right now on the 78-minute chart. We had this little drop in the morning. We had this nice attempt up, a little drop here. But we're pretty top heavy. There's not a lot of movement up. You can see SPY on the 78-minute chart all through pre-market was basically dropping. We've got this support line at, what is our exact number? 257.08. So my plan on this trade is to trade the put option. In this case, we're going to trade a 1-day expiration 257.5. So we're going to be just in the money here on this 257.5. And I want to make sure that this can break when this breaks. So when our 08 falls apart, that's when we take our put option. So I'll be using our fancy little active trader down here. I don't personally trade in Thinkorswim. I use TastyWorks because the commissions are so much better. I just prefer that. Of course, if you'd like to check out TastyWorks, there's a link for that in the description below, because I prefer that $1 commission only one way instead of $7 each way. Alright, so now that we see this 5-minute breaking down, you can see this blue line here. This is yesterday. This is another point of resistance, or in this case, support for SPY or resistance for our put option. We can see it starting to test it to the penny, a nice breakthrough, and I want to make sure this gets down to 08. A lot of people believe that, oh, if I get in early, I'll make more profit. Well, yes, that's true if you're correct. If you're incorrect, you've now made a trade based on no technical indicator. You're like, oh, I'll buy it here, and then it turns around and does this. So I want to make sure that I get the break of 08 perfectly. The moment it touches 08, I have my order queued. The moment it touches 07, I'm in. If I'm wrong, that's okay. I'm going to take my 10% stop loss, and I'm going to walk away. If I'm right, I'm going to make a lot more than 10%. And by using the technical indicators, the probability is very much in my favor, and using that breakdown as our entry point is also going to make this very much in our favor. So, of course, because this is in real time, it's going to take a little while for this to occur. So let's just go through what I'm looking at. One, we have this 08 low. That's our entry point. If we look back at the 78-minute, there's nothing under that until our bottom. Oh, there's 11. We're getting close. A 10 as our low, so 2 more cents. I'm going to just wait. Basically just buy at the ask because I don't want to be late. There it is. 10 contracts. Very simple. 80 cents. Immediately, once it touched 08, that's the support. It touched 07 and down it goes. Next we have that round number 257 flat. Of course it flew right through that, and it's going to come up and test it. With a lot of the SPY breakdowns, something I see quite often, especially when we're close to that round number, is it breaks through the round number, comes up, and tries to fake you out, making you think that, oh, this is just going to bounce off of 08, 07, round number, whatever. But in fact, it's a lot of buying pressure, some people freaking out, trying to buy the bottom, and then it just does a wonderful royal flush. There's nothing down here. I call this an air bounce at, what is the low, 88? There's not a damn thing down here that says that it should stop at 88. Maybe, I don't know, 70s, maybe a little bit closer to the 70 to 40 range here, but 88, there's nothing that says it should stop. So now we're going to slowly sit on our hands, not make any rash decisions. We're already up, what is that, 15% there? 80 to 93? Yeah, about 15%, that's not bad. I normally have about a 10% profit target, except when I'm doing this breakdown strategy. Then it's normally 20 to 30%. So now we're just going to keep waiting here. It's going to take a moment for it to really fall apart. We had that clear break through 08, clear break through the round number 257 zeros, and now we're just waiting for it to really just fall apart. You can see it's sitting on 02, there's 57, and where's that break? Loves to make you wait for it. I don't see any volume coming in. There's 97, 98, so it's sitting now under the round number. Let's take a look at it, 93. I'm seeing a little bit more volume come in, but not enough, which is okay. A lot of single contracts. Somebody took their profit. A little bit of profit taking there isn't a bad thing. There's 93. We're getting really close to that previous low at 88. Still nothing on the 78-minute chart that says I should stop. So I'm going to keep waiting. Mid-60s, mid-50s there looks like its stopping point. Thinkorswim just reset the time in sales because that's a lot of data there. Sitting quite nicely here, 102, what is that, 25, 26%, there's 89, 87, break of that previous low, 85, this is where it gets quite interesting. Now we have to find our exit point. It's clearly broken down from 08, then through zeros, then through 88, which was that previous low, and now we gotta find where we're going to leave. Let's take ourselves a look here. 88 was our previous low. Now we have 75. Let's see what is next, shall we? 73, 72, 67. what I like to see. 64. So now we're getting into that previous low right here. We need it to get to 50, but I don't want to get greedy at 50. I don't want to wait all the way there. I see a potential bounce, which is okay. Let's see if it can drop just a little bit further to get down to that 50, or at least close to it. The moment I see it get back up above, where do I want that to get back up above? That is a good question. There's 64. Let's see if it can push a little bit further down. 62. Alright, so there's our next 5-minute candle. If this one goes all the way back up to 80, I'm gone, because I don't want to get greedy. If I were trading on my normal platform, I would have taken off half at this point, which is what I did on the 14th. Took off half of my position in case somebody really decided to buy that dip, and that's okay. Let's see here, 67. We're not down to that 50, not quite down to that 50 range there. 57 was our low, getting up to 70. Let's see here, 74. Looks like a pretty good green candle. Let's see, what can it do? A lot of this is just having the patience to wait and see what happens, but also using that technical analysis, looking at your support and resistance, making sure that whatever you are looking at, you're not going through and getting greedy with the position. There's 77. Still up quite a bit there. When I closed my position, or closed half of my position on Tuesday, I sold it at 21. So I was 1 cent off. And then I wait for the next half. There's the second breakdown that I look for. Always good to see. Let's see if we can go lower. There it is, 54, new low. Alright, now we gotta look, where is our previous low? 36 is our previous low. That's not a bad spot. 52. There's still some serious selling volume right here. Little buying. Now pretty much equal on both sides. Let's see here. 75. Let's see, 75. 80 is my selling point. If it gets there, I'm done. I would be selling right on the top here. Doesn't look like we're going to get any more of a drop here. 76, and I'm out. So let's go down here and look at what we got. So 114 was our exit, and 80 cents was our entry. That's pretty good. Let's grab our calculator real quick. 114 minus 80 divided by 80 times 100 is 42%. Yeah, that's really nice. Now let's see here. 114 minus 80 is $34. We had 10 contracts. That's $340 on 80 times 10 on 800. That's really good. So that's what you're looking for when you're scalping the SPY. You're looking for those support points, especially if there's nothing between that support at 08 in this case and lower. And hey, look, there's 84 that broke, so we got out a minute or so early. We'll pause that here. But that's what you're looking for. There's lots of ways to trade. I prefer to trade those breakdowns. If we go over to that 4 grid here, these only really work when you have a little bit of a bearish move on the weekly, preferably on the daily as well. If you've got a bearish move here and it's mostly green on the day, you're not going to get those breakdowns, which is what we all love. So you got to be mindful of the big picture. That's one thing that a lot of traders have an issue with, is being mindful and seeing the big picture. I've got two, now three monitors that I use. This chart is on my left monitor. These guys are on my center, and the actual options chain that I'm trading on TastyWorks is on my right monitor. So I can see the full picture. I'm not trading from a phone. If you do that, I'm impressed, because that's challenging, especially for scalps like these. So quick mid 40% move on that breakdown. One thing before I end this, I'd like to point out that a lot of traders really love to get in early when they see a breakdown occur, and although that might have been good in this case, if this were to have bounced back up, you'd be holding a bag. And that's one thing that I absolutely hate doing. Going in early to try to get a few extra percent, and then I'm completely wrong. We can go back here, you can see, oh yeah, this guy's coming up, it's dropping, I'll get in early. I'm not going to wait for my indicator. And then you're left holding it, and it never goes down that day. So just keep that in mind when you're trading. Just something very simple. Of course, if you have any questions, you can direct message me on the Enhanced Investor Discord. I will also be able to answer questions on the YouTube comments section below, and this will be posted as a on-demand video on YouTube as well. So thank you all for watching. Without further ado, I'm Aaron from the EI team, signing out, and happy trading.